just wouldn't do it. That was their personal preference. Even if they had to waiver, they said they wouldn't do it. It's just a complicated airplane. There's a lot going on. That's their opinion. But again, I got that from reliable sources. Now, the other two pilots, one was his son, and I think his son went by Jack. Dennis Dutton is his name. Dennis Charles Dutton. He is a student pilot. You can see here at the bottom of his license. Student pilot. He doesn't have any qualifications, no medical information yet. He was at the time training to be a licensed pilot. And that's all the information we have about him. So it was most likely that he wasn't in the seat. The third pilot was Greg Biffle himself. All right. Now he's the owner of the airplane. And it says that Greg, his medical was up to date, 2 of 2025. Those second class medicals are good for a year. So he was due again next February. Private pilot, it says. Private pilot license. What ratings did he have? Single engine land, single engine, multi-engine land, and rotor aircraft helicopter. He had no limits, but he also didn't have any type ratings. So if he had a type rating, you would see it under ratings and it would say CE-500. He wasn't type rated on the aircraft that he owned. Presumably, that's why he had Dennis Dutton on board, who was qualified to fly the airplane. Now, let's talk real briefly about the transition from a commercial airline pilot, a Delta, American, United, doesn't make any difference, a Part 121 carrier, that's what they are, to the Part 135 or the Part 124 or the civilian general aviation world, because it bears, I've got to talk about it a little bit, right? At age 65, you are by Congress forced out of your job as a commercial pilot. That's a completely different world over there. At my airline, virtually everything other than flying the airplane was done for me. I had a dispatcher that got the flight plan. I had weather briefers that gave me the weather briefing. I had all sorts of information on my iPad. I didn't have to lift bags and put them in an airplane. I didn't have to take care of loading passengers on an airplane or getting them off. I didn't have to do any of that. I concentrated solely on flying the airplane, and I had a magnificent team of people to back me up. Once you get out of that world and you get into the general aviation world and the Part 135s, the Part 124s, and the other parts that it's a totally different world. You're the chief cook and bottle washer. You're not only flying the airplane, you're loading the bags, you're filing the flight plan, you're fueling the airplane, you're making sure everything is taken care of. You're getting your own weather brief. That's a completely or a remarkably different world from the one that you just came out of. It doesn't mean that you're not qualified for it. It just means that you're brand new at all those things. And it's a workload increase that you're not familiar with. People that have been in general aviation,